Hey,
Yeah.
Alex. Yeah, I can hear you fine.
All right. I can hear you, Corchin.
Okay, fine. Had some problems with micro.
No worries, man. No worries.
Yeah, let's just give it a few more minutes and let everyone join. Yes, how's everyone doing today?
Doing good. Doing good.
Excellent, excellent. Let's give it a few more minutes and let some people join. Yeah, we've had some busy times the past few weeks.
Yeah. What have you been up to?
Quite a lot. Yeah, let's wait for a few more minutes, and then we can give like an update to the community around what we've been doing since our mainnet launch, because there's been quite a lot of activities taking place. Should we make a start then, Alex? Maybe we should ping the channel. Yeah, ping the channel again just to make sure everyone's aware the call's taking place.
Yeah, I dropped the announcement just now in the.
Ben, do you still remember when was the last community call?
Yeah, it was just after our mainnet launch.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, so this will be the first one that we've done since the mainnet actually launched. So yeah, that's why I said there's quite a few updates to give. So maybe I can kick off the call now then, just to remind everyone about some of the things that have been going on since the last call that we had. So yeah, since the last call that we had, we've had quite a large number of things go on. So some of those things are we listed on a large number of major exchanges. Our token also launched. We also went permissionless as well and fully decentralized with provers and proposers. To date, we currently have had 67 proposers come online and 55 provers come online as well. So, all of this has happened since our mainnet launch and following our TGE as well, the day when we went decentralized. So there's quite a lot of activities that have happened. We've also launched since then quite a number of technical updates introducing Raiko. So there's been a number of blog posts about Raiko, our new multi-prover, scheduled updates with our protocol upgrades, and we also launched Trailblazers as well since our last community call. And from that, I think maybe we should just recap on some of the things that we've actually done and some of the things that we've also achieved since that particular date. So with the launch of Trailblazers, on average, we have approximately 43,000 active addresses each day. And our transaction count approximately is over 1 million every day now since our launch date. And our TVL has now slowly crept up to 159 million. So all of these, are thanks to all of the active users within our community who are, coming here to try out our mainnet and also, investigate all of the and explore all of the applications that we have coming online. And I'll let the partnerships team talk about that, afterwards. But because I'm sure they have more exciting news to share about the various partnerships that have been brought on board and all that sort of good stuff as well. From a community side, our community is also grown. Not only in size, but also we've taken on board some additional moderators to support. So, thanks to, all of those active volunteers in our community. And as I've always said, we are very much a community-driven project. So everybody that, has come to our team, whether as joining our team or our extended team as moderators, have all come from our community in one shape or another. And the latest people that have joined are people like Barrett that you've known, Nop that you've also known, StoneMac who's been very active with the proposer, prover, developer community. So thank you very much for that. And our latest addition is Spruce Wayne, who joined us just this week. So, all these guys are very, very active, and anybody in our community who's got any issues, these are the guys that have all been helping us, answer those questions. So, really, really appreciate the support that you guys have given. In addition to all of that, one of the things that we've also been doing over the past week or two, I should say, is that we've been also at events. So I will let Jorin, our DevRel, talk a little bit about that shortly. But we've been at ETHCC. We've met a large number of ecosystem partners and also a large number of our community there, and also developers as well. So it's been a very hectic few weeks for us. And now we are just here, talking to you guys, just giving you updates around some of those things that we've done. But, feel free to ask any questions that you have during this call. And I'll hand back to Alex, and you can go around the table so others can also give some updates as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's been a little while since you've last all heard from us and gotten an update. So I think, Daniel, maybe we can kick things off with you and give us some updates about, progress that we've made, maybe some, protocol focused updates and the things that, we're actively working on and things people look forward to.
Okay. All right. So since the last community call, I think we have been working on, from the BCR perspective, we work on gas optimization. As you can see, we have reduced the gas for proposing and proving blocks by almost 1/3. We also make the decision to split the BBR team into a more like independent engineering team led by Brecht. I'm not sure whether I have mentioned this before, but this team is there now. We also set up a new Twitter account for that effort. And later, Brecht can give an update on BBR. I'm working with other engineers on the BCR protocol and mainnet. Right now, my priority is to make sure we understand what issues we have with the mainnet and how to fix it, and what other features we want to add to the protocol. For example, the pre-confirmation, right? Very important for base rollup. So we have engineers work with third-party teams on pre-confirmation. If you follow some Twitter accounts, you will see that we have deployed our protocol, a modified version of the protocol on top of a testnet L1 called a Helder. So our engineer Jeff is working on that. So it's very, very important for a base rollup to support pre-confirmation. So that's what's going to happen in our next major release or the next fork. We are also going to work on enhancing the layer 2 base fee calculation to make certain adjustment and make sure proposers will get revenue from the base fee, not the tape. Right now, proposers rely on the tape, which is not very good. In the meanwhile, I think we are going to maybe find someone to focus on the Chinese community, because there are a lot of investors, users. I think it's going to be beneficial to all the token holders. I'm also working with Aragon on the DAO. So it was not our priority, and going forward, we are going to at least do an internal code review, and they are going to help us do a external audit. Once we have a DAO, then we are going to test the DAO on Hekla, and then hopefully in a year, less than a year, we are going to have a DAO, so the protocol is not going to be owned by us, right? So right now we can still do multi-sig based upgrade of the protocol, but we hope to give up that permission and then totally rely on the DAO voting to improve to release new versions. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I have. Brecht, you want to briefly talk about BBR?
Yep, sure. So yeah, I guess kind of like started work on kind of like continuation work of like the booster rollup thing. So I guess already quite some content out if you want to read up on it. But things will still change a little bit because of the kind of like the way more functionality kind of like is possible now, depending especially with like the pre-confirmation things. So instead of only having like synchronous composability between all the L2s, kind of like the focus is also now to make it possible to do it with L1 as well, which does complicates things a bit, as in it's kind of like harder to wrap your head around, but hopefully it does not actually make the protocol any kind of like more complex. Actually, I think in theory it could make things more simpler, but I guess we'll have to see about that. But yeah, so kind of like trying to change some of the design stuff to kind of like take these things into account, and making some progress on that. So I think like a basic roll-up kind of like design is already like well figured out, and it's just like implementing things, and like the other stuff, well, will have to happen in the coming weeks. But things are like looking pretty good on that. So yeah, I guess like the focus, so people can understand, is kind of like the booster rollup concept, where like you deploy stuff on L1 and it's also like directly available to L2, and then you have kind of like all the kind of like nice functionality of that, of like being able to seamlessly connect between the L2s and also seamlessly connect with the L1 or any kind of like bridging. So basically, there's no bridging. There's only like special like transaction types that kind of like handle these things automatically for you, or at least that's the idea. And then like that together with like some complete pre-confirmation stuff, and also with some like efficiency in mind, like how to make it like efficient to still like propose blocks and also like prove blocks, because if you want to do like synchronous composition with L1, you also have to immediately be able to prove whatever you're doing on L2. So that means that ZK hopefully will get there at some point, but it might be that initially we might have to depend more on like TEs, which is like very cheap and like very fast. But you can kind of like add some extra kind of like you can design it in a way that you don't directly depend on only like the TE security. So try to bring it all together, and then the implementation should be quite straightforward, because well, we've already done a roll-up now, or like 2 roll-ups, so it's just like putting the code to work. But yeah, I hope that explains things more.
Yeah, thank you, Brecht. That's really exciting work that you've been up to lately. I dropped a link to the Twitter page in the chat here. You guys want to check out the account? They updated with what's going on with booster rollup research. Definitely check that out. Let's see. I see that we have Joaquin up here on stage. If there's any updates you want to give on the partnership side of things, cool things going on in the ecosystem.
Sure. Thanks, Alex. So like Ben mentioned, right, we're getting a lot of traction. Actually, to be honest, it's right above our expectations. Simply super, we're averaging like more than 1 million or 1.5 million transactions per day. Those are distributed across many applications, not all of them, but of course there are some ones that are getting more traction. But we are seeing that people is using almost all of our applications, and we're getting closer to the 100 mark, which is actually pretty nice for the first. I don't know how long it's been, like 1.5 months, something like that. We are now working very closely like with our ecosystem partners to make sure that anyone on Taiko can actually create value. I'm not sure which are actually the news from or what are not news from the last community call, but to mention some names, we have Hyperlane recently went live. Liquid, which is a meme platform native from Orbiter, that's pretty cool. Stargate, I'm not sure if that was mentioned on the last community call. Ritsu, it's also given some good opportunities, which is the native version of SyncSwap. HANA Finance for money market. On the NFT side, we have some collections like Taikonauts, which is a very cool one. It's available on OKX NFT Marketplace. On gaming, I don't remember all the news, to be honest. Like from the top of my mind, I would say robots.farm, which was launched very recently. 21BJ, it's a social gambling. EVM Warfare is doing some final tests. I think it's available already on Android platforms, and it will be soon on iOS. Kraken Stack has launched a mobile version of the game. It's one of the games with the biggest traction in Taiko. And it will be on Telegram as well. And we are also working with to bring some Telegram games. We think it's a very convenient way to access gaming on chain. I also like to mention regarding Trailblazers that there's currently a DeFi competition for apps. And there are some good opportunities you could try to spot. I don't want to share some specific names, but we did a breaching one last month. There was some good opportunities there, like some free breaching for some partners. And my recommendation to our community is to keep an eye on the application-specific rankings on Trailblazers, because when we're doing competition, that basically means that it's very likely that those applications are doing some activations. And activations may come on many different forms. It can be incentives, it can be free stuff, whatever. So just keep an eye, because there's usually good opportunities when we're doing that kind of stuff. I also like to mention what's coming very soon. Don't want to get much ahead of, don't want to give too much alpha, just in case. But I would like to highlight three projects. Two DeFi ones. One of them is called Panko, and Panko is, I'm actually very excited about this one because, we all know PancakeSwap. PancakeSwap has been deploying on, many different chains on their front end. But most of the liquidity still sits on Binance Smart Chain. So they basically tried or decided to expand to new chains on a different model, on a franchise model, and they are building their first official, PancakeSwap child, which is called Panko, and it's gonna be on Taiko. They selected Taiko as a chain, and it's currently finishing the audit phase. So yeah, it's coming live pretty soon. Gonna have its own token. So yeah, it's looking very promising. Just keep an eye on especially on the build on Taiko account, because we're sharing there all the news. Another project that is coming very soon, and I'm also bullish about, is zkEVM. We're currently conducting some audits. They finish their audits themselves too, who of course want to be on the safe side. It's basically liquid stake it platform, but it's kind of different from probably most of the ones that you guys already know. It works like kind of like a ETF, because it's kind of like you can get from one operation exposure on many different staking platforms such as EigenLayer, Renzo, EtherFi. So it kind of combines all these opportunities into one single operation, like a big fund. And the cool thing about it is that when you participate on zkEVM, you will be able, with just one operation, to farm points on all of these different ecosystems. So it's pretty convenient. I think the yields are going to be, probably very attractive, but we won't know until it's live. But yeah, it's also looking pretty promising, and we're working very closely with the team. And the third one I wanted to mention was one on the gaming side. It's called, Taiko Studios. It's one of the most successful studios on Wax. Actually, the number of traction that those games are getting on Wax is simply amazing. And they are coming to Taiko natively to build one specific game just for our community. It's called Brigade Multiverse. It's going to take a while to build, but I recommend to keep an eye on our build on Taiko on our official Twitter account, because there will start some activations that may be beneficial for the future pretty soon, even before the game is built. I'm not sure if I'm probably leaving many things, so just go to the ecosystem page and check. Also, like to mention that next week we're going to have the domain name plus social week on Trailblazers with our partners .taiko, CNS, and Pop. So yeah, when interacting with those, you guys will be able to mint the next faction batch. And just as a reminder, all these faction batches, even though they are not giving yet a multiplier, they will multiply your points at the end of the season. So we highly recommend. Well, of course, just do whatever you prefer, but it's recommendable to hold them, because it will give a multiplier to the points. I guess that's mostly it. So back to you, Alex.
Yeah, thanks, Joaquin. Yeah, that is a lot to cover all at once. It's definitely been really busy in the Taiko ecosystem, especially since deploying on mainnet. There's been a lot of infrastructure that's deployed and matured, and yeah, just to touch on that, I guess from the community side, just real quick is we're really going to be focusing on our builder ecosystem, so highlighting projects from our Built on Taiko Twitter account, hosting Twitter Spaces with different projects from our ecosystem to talk a little bit about what they do, to cover some of the bigger questions in like the DeFi ecosystem, gaming, decentralized identity, stuff like that. Our ecosystem builders are going to be a really big focus, moving forward with things that we're doing in the community. A little calls every week. But yeah, Ben, maybe we can throw it back to you so you cover some updates about either events that we've done that we're going to be attending in the future. Anything interesting going on in the community or otherwise?
Yeah, sure. Maybe before we move on to the next part, Joran's on. Maybe Joran, you can give an update on your experiences that we've had at EthCC in terms of the exciting things that you presented and actually built during EthCC.
Yeah, I would love to. ECUC was crazy. There was so many events and not enough team members to go to all of them, but we tried our best. And I had a couple speaking events, which were really great. I got to get out and represent Taiko to the greater Ethereum community, and fielded a lot of questions about Taiko. Like, surprisingly, still some people hadn't even heard of Taiko. And so a lot of questions about like, what is Taiko and why is it different? And so that's like the narrative right now of like differentiating ourselves from all the other many L2s that are popping up out there. And largely we were very well received. I had a lot of great conversations with people that said like, after explaining what Taiko was, that was very interesting. A light bulb kind of went off in their head, and we're like, oh, I'm gonna look into it a lot more, and that was really encouraging to hear. We're in like a phase right now, like where we're really trying to onboard a lot more developers, bring new projects into the space, and as a result, bring new users into the space, and maybe also inspire some users that have been on the fence or maybe have a Web 2 kind of background to maybe take a leap and jump into the Web 3 space and and start trying to develop something of their own on Taiko. And so that's what I've been focusing on most recently is making that transition for people a lot easier, giving them the tools and resources that they need to do that. As Joaquin was mentioning earlier in his piece, that we're really interested in bringing on some new games and new types of gaming experiences, specifically engaging people where they hang out the most. And as the 60 plus people in the call already know, and that we have a massive Discord community, over 1 million people, and so there's a lot of people hanging around here, chatting about Taiko, asking lots of great questions. I think it would be great to be able to play some games that use Taiko, the blockchain, as its back end, and have some really cool gaming experiences right here on the platform, on Discord, as well as in Telegram. And so one of the things, the proof of concepts that I built and displayed while I was at ECC was a little game that you can play. You guys might know it, the game by Connect 4. I think some different areas of the world call it different. Essentially, it's tic-tac-toe, but you have to get 4 in a row instead of 3 in a row. I played on a 7x6 grid. Anyways, I have proof of concept that works. It uses Hecla as its back end. I will share the link here in the chat for anybody that's interested to go kind of check it out and see what it looks like to use, to make calls to the blockchain and then return the output in a Discord, using a Discord bot essentially. It's definitely not polished and ready for production use, but it's definitely ready to play around with, and it's a good jumping off point again for anybody that maybe is a JavaScript developer and looking to make the jump into Web3, that they could fork that and take it onto their own and maybe deploy it on some test servers and build out some more features to get it kind of ready, or use it as inspiration to build your own kind of game. And my DMs are always open, so if you guys are interested in talking some more about that, feel free to reach out. If you have questions, need help, or anything like that, if you're hitting any roadblocks, I'd love to help you to get through those. Outside of that, we also want to really support the backbone of what Taiko, what makes Taiko run, like our unique infrastructure, a unique architecture of provers and proposers. Dan, you talked a lot about the adjustments and efficiencies we've made there to make those nodes more profitable. But we also are on a path towards decentralization, a continual path towards decentralization, and we want to bring on more people as provers and proposers as well. And so I'm going to be spending a lot of time to make that transition for people easier as well. Getting better documentation, figuring out some of the errors and bugs that are maybe still in the system, or rough spots where people are getting tripped up, and clarifying those things for people. So if you're interested in maybe trying your hand at running some infrastructure, we have some great chats in our Discord for that, and again, my DMs are open if you need help there. Coming into the second half of the year, we have some events that we're going to be at, and it'll be basically more of what I was talking about, in trying to engage more people, more developers to come onto Taiko and build their projects, new projects, as well as bring older projects, maybe from other ecosystems, into our ecosystem with new innovations. So if that's you, feel free to reach out, and keep an eye out, because we're planning a big hackathon, most likely starting in September, maybe somewhere around the Korea Blockchain Week, maybe a little bit before or after, date TBD. But yeah, so we're going to be doing a several month long hackathon coming up in partnership with DoraHacks, and there's going to be lots of opportunities to build your projects and to get some feedback. And the idea behind this hackathon is not just building a project to get some prize money at the end, but it is to support you in building a business, something that is going to be able to survive and thrive long after the hackathon is finished. And so we want to set people up so that they can have like an MVP at the end, but also there's going to be workshops for like business development, some marketing things, really supporting all the angles of what is required to build a successful product and essentially a successful business. So we want to get you some mentorship from some business-minded people, maybe make some connections with some of our partners, and then ultimately aiming to have like a grant proposal that we can take a look at, that carries your project 3, 6, 9 months down the road, that we can continue supporting you if you continue building. So yeah, those are some of the things that I'm really excited about for the next half a year. I think Ben's probably going to talk a little bit more about the events that we're going to be at, but I think towards the end of the year, the big one is DevCon coming up, and that's going to be kind of our last event of the year, I believe, to make put a nice exclamation point on the end of the year and engage some devs in Bangkok there. And I think that's about it for me. I'll kick it back to, I think, Alex or Ben.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's a really important point that you made, Jorin, that for the online hackathon that we're going to be planning in September, that it's going to be an end-to-end activity. So it's not like your normal hackathon where builders just build things. We're going to be providing you with a lot of support, from the actual coding itself through to business, through to actually marketing, building up your business, and longer term support as well. So these are all exciting things to look forward to, and for all of the developers out there, we're looking forward to meeting you all and having you come on board to build on Taiko during that time. So good luck. Okay. We also have Neb on the line. So Neb, do you want to say a few words as well about your experiences recently at the events, and maybe instead of me talking about what's going to come up, maybe you'd like to let the community know what we have in store over the coming months.
Oh, definitely. Thanks. So basically, the experience at ECC is basically through the roof. The overall excitement is through the roof. Personally, I haven't expected that much interest in Taiko, but for example, we brought 3 big suitcases of swag, pins, t-shirts, bags, whatever. And we are left with one shopping bag with the swag. Basically, I couldn't had enough of that. During some of the booths at the side events and the conferences there, I had I think 5 hours straight people coming to our booth asking about Taiko, wanting to know more. How can they build on Taiko? What is needed? How they can partner with us and stuff like that. And the most interesting thing to them that I realized is when I was talking about Taiko is actually a BBR. So the potential of BBR to the developers, when basically I was saying about Taiko in general, they were like, oh, that's nice, that's great, that's super. And then when they mentioned the BBR and what's the potential of the BBR and stuff like that, and they were like, oh, hell yeah. So they were really excited about the Gwyneth, and they're definitely looking into it. So that's from the conference side. Also we've been at 20 plus side events during 4 days, something like that, 5 days. So it was crazy. The whole team was all over all over Brussels, to be honest. We barely managed to get a team gathering for one evening, so to say. So that's how busy it was at ECC and how important it was for us from that side as well. For what is regarding what is coming for the next months, I think both you and Jorin already mentioned that. But so next one we have Korea Blockchain Week. We'll definitely be there. We're organizing side event, but also we're aiming to go to others. Then there's Singapore, so basically talking 2049, we'll be there. We are also aiming to have a side event there for our partners, for everyone who's following Taiko, who wants to build on Taiko, basically to come and join us. And after that, as Jorin mentioned, the last event for this year is Dev Connect in Thailand. So so a lot of things are happening. And as for all the other conferences, the aim is simple. Basically, join all the conferences, create the hackathons, be there, introduce people to and developers to Taiko, the potential of Taiko, and have a presence everywhere, so to say. So I'm like really eager to see the outcome of everything. I think that's it for me. I think I missed something, but I'll be definitely getting back.
No, thank you, Neb. And with that, I guess hand over to Ola. Do you want to see what questions the community have for us?
Yes, hello guys. I have gathered a couple of questions from the community, and just to mention, if you guys have any questions, you can go to community forum on the community section and ask your question. So let's start from the first question. Probably it is one of the most popular ones. It is regarding Trailblazer, and our community is eager to know about like deadlines of the first season, plans for future weeks, because I have seen a lot of feedback that people liked gamify experience with different games, the 5 weeks. So maybe we can share some insights on our future weeks, tasks, and just future plans regarding Trailblazer campaign. Maybe, I don't know, Neb or partnership team can answer this one.
Yeah, I can take it. So next week is going to be for, I think it's the 5th faction batch. I don't know, 4th, 5th. I think it's the 5th. It's gonna be I mentioned it before, a domain name plus there's gonna be one social fi protocol, which is POP. Any interaction with any of them is gonna make you eligible for the faction batch. And regarding the timelines, so season first is not we'll have like a date set in stone, but I would say first week of September, based on the calendars that we set initially of 3 months per season, and considering when we started, I would say that first week of September should be more or less the end of the first season, and then we will basically conduct the anti-cyber analysis and distribute the rewards as soon as possible. I think that answers the question.
Yes, thank you, Joaquin, for answering the question and sharing insights with us, with the community. But we have another questions also regarding Trailblazer. It is about multipliers, because as we know, like for now, points are displayed without multipliers such as pops, faction badges, tycoons. And a lot of questions are regarding multipliers, when points will be displayed with them. Do we have like any information about it to share with the community, so they know like whether they can still buy some NFTs from a secondary marketplace or no?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure when exactly those are going to be applied. What I can guarantee is that these multipliers will be applied 100%, like before the end of the season. There's so many things to do on Trailblazer, so many technical stuff to keep tracking, many collaborations with partners, many contracts to index from applications, make sure that you guys receive all the points, that the engineers are a little bit swamped. We know there's so much to improve, especially on the user experience side. We are aware, we're not stupid. There are some obvious mistakes that we will improve on the following seasons. Just to remind you guys, Trailblazers is a long-term thing. This is only the first season. We'll have like many. It's gonna be running for years. So just rest assured, the multipliers will be applied. The tycoons, the OG NFT, the faction batches, and we are working on doing some cooler stuff. We don't want to make it too complicated. We want to keep Trailblazers light, but we also want to give the opportunity to the people that are actually here, listen to the community calls, that follow our Twitter, are actually proactively taking care of watching the latest news. We want to give some opportunities on short periods of time, to get some extra multipliers from doing specific things. We don't want to make it like super hard, like make complex tasks, like steal, too much of your time. But we really want to make it cooler and actually give more opportunities and make it more fair, for people that are also not, not very wealthy individuals, but are actually around doing stuff, so just keep an eye. We're working on like literally daily on ideas and on improvements. And, next seasons are going to be, much better, much more engaging. And we'll see some new multipliers maybe before this first season ends, if we have time to implement them. If not, we'll see it on the season 2. The ones we announced on the blog post, the NFTs ones, they will give the multiplier for sure before the season ends.
Thank you, Joaquin, for sharing a lot of alpha insights. Yeah, Ben.
Yeah, just to add also to that as well. So yeah, the engineering teams are working on the display, the UX at the moment, and yes, we will definitely have the multipliers in place. Whether it shows on the dashboard before the end of the season, it's work in progress. But at the end of the season, the engineers will be able to calculate all of those multipliers based upon the faction badges, OG badges, and also the tycoons that you actually hold as well. And in addition to that, yes, you can purchase the faction badges or tycoons from the OKX marketplace. That's a legitimate marketplace where you can purchase those and gain those multipliers as well if you are missing any of those badges. So that's just an FYI for everyone.
Thank you, Joaquin. Thank you, Ben. And Ben, you mentioned about tycoons, NFTs, and it leads us to next question about future utilities of our NFTs, of tycoons, pubs. Do we have any info to share about them? Will they be multipliers for next campaigns, next seasons, or maybe like something else?
Yeah, for sure. One of the ideas about the tycoons is to make it more of a rare collection, because there's only 888 of those in total. So for those holders who have those, there's a marketplace for those. In addition to that, we plan to have these continue as part of multipliers going forward in our future Trailblazers programs in the various seasons that will come.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Ben, for answering these questions. Let's move to another question. It is more, a technical question. It was from our moderator, Helios. He was asking about the new booster rollup that is bootstrapped by Taiko, called Gwyn, and he was asking how does Gwyn relates to the Taiko prover proposed the market, as well as the token. Does it use Taiko? Does it use like Taiko? Will it have like its governance token or not?
I guess. Well, I think it's too soon to answer these questions. Obviously, it will use Taiko token. There will be no other token. But yeah, I guess there will be some changes because of the synchronous aspect of it. Like now, the token is sometimes used. Well, it's kind of like primarily used to have like a somebody does something and then afterwards it can be like challenged, or there's like some kind of like promise there, and so it goes against like the synchronous goal of Gwyn itself. So there will be some changes there, but yeah, it is still part of Taiko. But yeah, the design is still being made, so it's too early to say anything concrete. But there's like many ways the Taiko token can be used.
Thank you, Bragg. And so we touched some, tokens, and it leads us to the next question. Probably, Ben, maybe you can answer this one. A lot of our community members, are asking about future tax listings, DEX listings. Do we have any information to share about it, like future exchanges?
Yeah, sure. So in terms of our existing listings, we are listed pretty much on all major exchanges with the exception of a few. So those few that are still remaining, we are still in discussions with those at this point in time. So it's really watch this space for those particular listings. In terms of dexes that you mentioned as well, yes, for sure. We've got more dexes coming on board through the partnerships that we have, and again, those will be announced as and when they happen. But yeah, for sure, you can see in CoinMarketCap, for example, all of the exchanges that we are currently listed on, and there are definitely more who are listing us, even without our knowledge, because Taiko is fairly popular at the moment, so there are more and more exchanges starting to list us as well. So you can check out all of the exchange listings on CoinMarketCap.
Thanks, Ben, for answering this one. And I see in the chat that we have a lot of questions about Gwyneth, and maybe we can go back to Brecht to talk about it a little bit, because another mod. Yeah.
Just while we're on tokens and stuff, I did see a question earlier in the chat about somebody was asking about like basically our token allocation and like vesting schedule. If there were more details about that, the timeline, or at least like when or if that information will be public.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, so we've actually written the post, but we just haven't posted it out yet. And the reason for that is we are just waiting for all of the wallet addresses to come back from our investors, because as you guys all know, we are very open to our community, and we will share with everybody in there all of the allocations and describing there very clearly the vesting schedules as well and the unlock periods. So yeah, rest assured that is coming once we get all of the wallet addresses from all of the partners that we'll be distributing to it, or I should say investors that we'll be distributing the tokens to. You will be able to see which addresses are getting those, and we will definitely post that out there shortly as soon as that information. We have the full list of addresses.
Awesome. Thanks, Ben. Yeah, Korchinski, we can go back to that other question that you had.
Yeah, it was related to Gwyneth, and a lot of our community members are excited about this new booster rollup, and they are asking to like more explanation about it and how it will help community, how it will help Taiko, what impact it will have. So maybe Bragg, you can like share with us more info about it and explain the Gwyneth to us, just like we are like 5 years old kid.
Okay. I thought I already did it, but it seems like I did not do a good job, I guess, because people still have questions. So I guess the easiest way to explain it, I guess, like, like limited functionality because it's wrapped and not all functionality on the L1 kind of like moves over to the L2. So that's kind of like the other thing that this kind of like allows, that, well, it kind of like automatically scales the application. So hopefully all the things that I've said is true, and also, well, the fees are low because of like the inherited like scalability of like the whole system. So I guess, well, so I guess it looks like Ethereum, but unlike Ethereum, you actually have like fast confirmation times and the fees are low. I guess that's the goal, and the other stuff is mostly technical background stuff to kind of like make this work.
Right. I think maybe it's a good idea for the BBR team to somehow showcase a few like scenarios where this BBR can empower, right? So give some examples. For non-technical people, maybe it's easier to imagine. Oh, this is what's going to happen if I use this app this way. It's going to be different from an app on like BCR or other rollups.
Yeah, it seems like it's probably necessary to kind of like have some concrete examples because I guess what I said is also like pretty vague or like abstract for people. So yeah, a good idea to kind of like have some
I think
real
maybe
examples.
after the first DevNet or testnet, when what we know is more like certain, right? I think it's still too early to write the post now, but I think it's a good idea for the future.
Yep, agree.
I guess there is some confusion in the community about like where Gwyneth falls into place. Like with Taiko, like is it still Taiko? Is it something different? Are they still part of the same station? I don't know.
Yeah, still part of the same. So well, I guess it depends on like how like technically also like it will be, but yeah, maybe like the current Taiko could be like one of the rollups inside the ecosystem, or maybe there will be like, well, it won't be like inside it, but like externally, and there will be like easy ways to go between the rollups. So yeah, there's like multiple ways, and yeah, it's too early to say because yeah, it depends on like the technical, like how hard it is to kind of like, yeah, do you want to like put them in the system or like the shared like booster rollup L2s, or do you want to like still keep it out because otherwise technically it's kind of like difficult to put it inside, and then also there may be like other reasons not to put it inside because yeah, there's like different assumptions that Gwyneth will make that are there's different assumptions between them, so it's not like they're like necessarily, well, I wouldn't say like necessarily better or, but yeah, they're like different, so it only makes sense to kind of like combine them if there's like no downsides of like combining them, but also like no downside like for the different like designs to make them work. So, but yeah, I guess too early to say. Maybe Daniel can elaborate.
I think I want to talk about this from a to our token holders, right? So if BBR is going to launch the mainnet successfully and be adopted, then all the token holders will benefit from that success because there's no other no new tokens to be minted. We are going to use the same token for governance and probably utility if there's any use case for utility. The team is, when we say that the BBR team, the team is still part of Taiko lab, but Brett led this team. So it's making their own schedule. They are, they have their own priority, so they can be more like they can focus, right, to deliver BBR. So yeah, it's mostly for efficiency, for making sure that this BBR technology can be, made available as soon as possible. So you don't have to misread this message. Same token, same team, and we share the success.
Got it. Thanks for the clarification, guys. Very much appreciated. Yeah, so it looks like we are at the top of the hour here. So I think we can go ahead and wrap things up unless there was anything else anybody wanted to or touch on before we close things up.
Yeah, just one final thing for everybody. So during EthCC, we actually launched a testnet in collaboration with a number of other partners, and it's related to pre-confirmations. So you will all be hearing more and more about that because that's a really hot topic that's coming up for everybody. And yeah, we'll be sending out and issuing some blog posts around bits and pieces around this shortly as well. So keep an eye out for that.
All right. Well, I guess if that is it, thank you, everyone, for joining us on stage to give some updates about what we've been up to and all the cool things people have to look forward to. Thank you to everyone who's joined us today. Always love having an audience and always love being able to connect with the community. So just keep your eyes out for our next Trailblazer week, our future seasons. We'll be having Tea with Taiko next Tuesday, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, thank you everyone for joining us on this 15th community call, and I will see you guys later.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.